Ciao tutti, and welcome to the Italian Grand Prix preview. You like that one, right?
Wow.
Bene.
Wow.
No, I know. I speak
No
a lot.
words to describe that one.
Well, it is the Italian Grand Prix preview, so you got to learn a little bit of the language of the locals.
That's true.
That's all I got, really. You went to Italy. You probably know a couple more words.
See.
That's Spanish, bro.
See.
Okay, so getting into our preview for this weekend's races, is a back-to-back weekend coming off of Spa, and very quick turnaround after the summer break.
Yeah, one of those, like, hey, here's a month off, and like, bam, here's a double back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 4 races in the 5 weeks of September,
Well,
which I'm happy with. I have
yeah.
no complaints.
Speaking of that, one of the things I wanted to get into before we get into all the track specifics and tires, as we usually do, is the provisional 2020 calendar has been released.
Vietnam's up at the first start of the season. I can't wait.
And the Dutch Grand Prix.
I know. And
Take-
Canada's got moved down to like 9th or something like that, 8th or 9th race.
Yeah, it
So
is
they're probably
not
what,
really
like
here.
end of June now compared to.
it's like around the same time still.
June 14th.
It's around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's.
schedule is so compact.
That's
to start.
4 days after the last Grand Prix.
No,
It's
it's crazy.
crazy.
Like we start at the beginning of March, pretty
Wait,
much.
does that mean I should probably buy get my hotel for the Grand Prix now?
Maybe.
Yeah, pretty close. Like so.
Book your Vietnam Grand Prix tickets now.
They have a back-to-back from Azerbaijan to Canada, which
Wow, that is a big
is which is
change.
not a.
It's a long way to go.
But as not even like that's for the race to race. That's like a back-to-back week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I mean.
7th
That's
of
gonna be a
June,
big changeover
14th
coming.
in Canada. The amount of sorry, I stole your phone.
That's all right.
The amount of back-to-back weekends. They start off at the first 2 races of the year are back-to-back. Australia, Bahrain. Week break for Vietnam. Another week break before China. Another week break, or maybe 2 weeks break before the Netherlands. Then it's a back-to-back with Spain. Week break for Monaco. That back-to-back Azerbaijan and Canada. Back-to-back France, Austria. Week off, and then they're in July for the British Grand Prix. Then they get like 2 weeks off.
You're just going to run through the whole schedule.
I am actually. Maybe a week off, something like that. Hungary. Then they have summer break. Then end of August, it's packed again. A back-to-back Belgium and Italy. Couple weeks off. Back-to-back Singapore and Russia. A week off. Then they go to Japan. They get 2 weeks off. They go to the U.S. and a back-to-back with the U.S. and Mexico. A week off, and then Brazil, and then obviously Abu Dhabi at the end.
Huh.
So there's your
22
preliminary schedule.
races. 22
Yeah,
races, correct?
22.
Nice.
Yeah, a record-setting year.
Nice.
Yeah, crazy. That's a crazy schedule.
It's front-end loaded.
Yeah.
It is, but still, I mean, 22 races and only 3 engines.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that.
So is that 12 races before the summer break and then 10 races after the summer break then?
Oops.
Oh yes,
I lost
screwed it up.
Almost, yeah, looks like it. I think that's how they would spread it out.
13 before the summer break.
Wow. That is a big,
Interesting.
yeah, that's a lot before the summer break.
Yeah, so you're right. Front heavy, and then a little bit more spread out post summer
Yeah.
break. But that was my main concern. It's like obviously all the logistics for us, it's great because we got more
Yeah,
races.
but like the biggest one I think is Azerbaijan to Canada back to
Yeah,
back.
that's
insane.
a big back-to-back.
That's
'Cause
the middle of Europe.
initially when Baku was on the calendar, they did Canada first and then Azerbaijan in like late June.
I think last year Azerbaijan was or last couple
It's
years
probably
it was
because
the
it's
fourth
way
race.
probably because
Yes.
it's way too hot in Azerbaijan at that point,
It was
end of June. So
Well,
they probably
they-
wanted
yeah,
to do it
they
They
are
have
earlier.
that
going
problem
into
now.
June.
I was a bit surprised that the Dutch Grand Prix was in early May.
Yeah, I thought that would be in the I thought they would go.
Come on, guys. Tulip Festival. Netherlands. Tulip Festival. May. Best time to go.
I'm sure that's why they put it there.
No, that actually probably is why.
You think so?
I actually think so. That's actually a really good shout.
I was actually just completely guessing.
No, that's a good shout. I just thought they.
But just so people aren't aware, Canada and the Netherlands have a huge festival. Tradition dating back to World War II.
yeah.
After the Canadians helped them in World War II, every single year since then,
They send us a bunch of tulips.
Netherlands sends Ottawa a whole bunch of tulips. So they're in display in Canada in May and in Netherlands in May as well. So
And we never see them because our weather is so shitty in May always.
yes. There's 2 good days you'll find in May to go actually see them.
It actually is a
much.
fun festival.
Yeah,
if you
it
go.
is very interesting because there's a lot of the time they have other cultural festivals going as well. I know a lot of the Indian group actually does events at that during the Tula Festival, so it's a great time to show up.
Tourism Ottawa, come visit.
Yeah.
Come visit us.
I hope I'm getting paid by the government of Canada for that one.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's the provisional calendar. Like some tracks, for example, like Monza, it's still dependent on the contract signing.
Yeah.
And obviously it hasn't been completely finalized yet, but it seems like this is the schedule that they're going to go with, barring any big major changes. So
Of course, no German Grand Prix
yes,
is the big change.
and no Miami Grand Prix either.
Thank God. Is there another race that's dropped?
No, it was
No,
just
it's just
Germany.
one. Just
Not
one.
disappointing though,
Mexico
German Grand
renewed.
Prix, but
Yeah, after this year especially.
yeah,
right?
this one was a
Yeah.
big year for it.
Yep. All right, so moving on. This will be the 70th Italian. Well, actually, first, before we get into Italy and Monza, some more F1 news. We didn't talk about this in the previous podcast because it kind of happened in between. Esteban Ocon moving to Renault.
Yeah, that's
confirmed
really
for
big
2020.
news. I forgot we didn't touch on that. Yeah, that's the biggest news so far. Valtteri Bottas extends his contract for another season, at least at Mercedes. Nico Hülkenberg loses his ride, and who knows where he's going to go. Probably Haas, but you never know. And then, yeah, Esteban Ocon finally gets a seat for next year.
You think Haas too, eh?
Well,
I
I kept thinking Magnussen. That's the only thing I can think of when you say Haas.
I know. It'd just be such a toxic relationship. It'd be so good for F1.
So
It'd be
good for
so
Netflix.
good for I know. That's what I was
For
going to
the
say.
memes, it's gonna be great, but in terms of racing, probably not that
Probably
great.
Yeah, huge for Esteban. I mean, him and Ricardo are going to be a fantastic duo together. Clearly, Renault's putting a lot of money into their drivers to steal him from Mercedes. And it'll be very interesting to see how he does. I'm sure he's very pumped to be in a seat next season.
I don't know if anybody felt this way, but I was like, I'd be pretty pissed if I was Esteban Ocon because who knows on the opportunities I might have lost out on in the offseason of 2018 because I was tied to Mercedes. And I'm sure that he got all these guarantees of like, the seat is yours next year. Just wait out this season. Be the reserve driver, the sim driver. Just be patient. And then halfway through the season, obviously Valtteri's had a great year. So they're going to keep him again. And they say, yeah, Esteban, you can go. You can go to Renault. So if I was Ocon, I'd be kind of pissed because I just lost a year of my career. Yeah, I get he learned stuff and he got to be with a world championship team, but he wasn't driving an F1 car. And this world moves fast, and who knows what could have happened. He could have easily been moved on from Esteban Ocon, right? You never know what can happen in the driver market. So I don't know. Personally, I just felt like I'd be pretty pissed. Like Mercedes guaranteed me a seat in a championship contending car. And yeah, I'm moving to Renault, which is great, but I just lost
Is
the
it,
season
though?
of F1.
It
Is it
could be a
good?
championship contending car.
Good point.
Could
That's
be
what they said last year.
in 2021.
Way to be optimistic.
I am being optimistic. That was their plan. That's what they said.
No, that is true. So we'll see. I think it's great for Ocon. It's a French driver, and PR-wise for Renault, it's a good move.
It's a big
because
move,
It's
yeah.
a disastrous year for them, so they need something to look forward to. And they really haven't been able to justify that Ricardo contract in terms of the money that they're putting towards
Well,
it.
it's not his fault. He doesn't have a car, though.
No,
Go
we know where
straight.
they're-
Yeah.
We know where their money went, just not in the development of the car.
Yeah.
Went to Daniel Ricciardo.
I'm sure they're not paying Esteban as much as they are paying Ricardo.
No, probably not.
What the reports are, but and also on Nico Hülkenberg, I think yes, Haas is one of the more bigger options, but I also think Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Him
Yeah.
and Raikkonen would be a good combo,
Because I heard that
and probably a safer combo.
I don't see both of them there. I see one of them there, because I feel like Alfa Romeo is still kind of like the B team to Ferrari, so they kind of want a younger driver in one of those
and then,
seats.
No, this works perfectly. So you have Hülkenberg in that Alfa seat. When Vettel retires, you still have that German, Italian national anthems when they win, because Hülkenberg goes to Ferrari, and then Ferrari have Charles Leclerc and Nico Hülkenberg as their top two drivers. Nico finally wins a race, and everything's happy. Sails into the sunset.
You don't think it's gonna be Mick Schumacher with the German?
No, not right away.
not yet.
Not yet. You need a
But I'm
stopback.
just you're saying a few years down the line. I'm
Yeah.
saying the same thing.
They need a stopgap.
Yeah.
Stopgap German driver.
Yeah, I think that Alpha are probably a bit unhappy with Giovinazzi now because of his crash at
I
Spa.
mean, he crashed on the last lap. He's getting good points.
And I also heard
He just dropped it on his own.
some crazy rumblings and rumors on Twitter that the I believe that the group that owns before Alfa Romeo came in, which was Sauber, they were some Swedish owners, I believe it was, and
That's why Marcus Ericsson
they
was
might
there.
want to put Marcus Ericsson in after Singapore because the
Well-
IndyCar season is over.
Wasn't he at the race?
Well, he was going to possibly fill in for Raikkonen with his injury,
Oh, that's
but
right.
it never happened. But he has to be there because if Raikkonen goes out in FP1 and he can't drive, then they have to have somebody there to
Right.
replace him. So those are
Mm.
one rumor I heard was that these owners might just want to put Marcus Ericsson in because he's Swedish. The owners
I'd
were
actually
Swedish.
love to see Marcus Ericsson back in F1.
Ah, man, he's a good driver.
He's a really good driver. You gotta,
He's got shorter than a stick
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, he did a little bit. Yeah, I like to see Hulkenberg though at Haas as well. But I think, or sorry, I'd like to see him at
I
Alfa
like to see him
Romeo,
at
but
Haas.
Haas would be a lot more fun.
Oh man, that'd be something.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Nico Hulkenberg. Red Bull. Is
well,
a
you guys are
long
forgetting
shot.
there's gonna be Williams seats. There's gonna be a Williams seat open next year at the moment too. So
It
there's
could be
also
Lat-
that's.
I think it'll be Latifi. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think
fair
so.
point. Fair point. Yeah.
Hopefully it will be.
Yeah,
Have two Canadians on the grid.
first
Love
time
to
ever.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like I said, if Lance Stroll does join
Latifi
the team.
didn't Latifi out qualify? Well, I don't know. Qualify out time Kubica in practice too.
In FP1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's had a couple of FP1 sessions this year, so yeah, he'll be back racing in F2 for Monza as well.
That's
And speaking of Monza, it is the 70th Italian Grand Prix. It's one of the most historic tracks on the calendar, a fan favorite for a lot of people.
One of the most simplistic tracks on the calendar.
Yeah.
Straight turn right, left. Straight turn right, left. Go for a loop, and you're back around the corner.
Suits Ferrari very well.
The old track was even more simplistic. It was just this long banking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm pissed about? I was supposed to go visit Monza while I was in Italy, but the day I was about to leave Milan to go to another place, there was a giant flooding in the area,
Oh, no.
so I couldn't go.
Mm.
So I just ruined my entire trip
Maybe
to Monza
Pirelli
as
was
well.
doing wet weather testing.
Yeah, maybe.
It is their home race as well.
It is Pirelli's home race. It's
Toro
Toro Rosso's
Rosso.
home race. It's Giovinazzi's home race. It's Alfa Romeo's home race.
Ferrari as well,
Ferrari's
obviously,
home
yeah.
race. There's a lot of homecomings.
A lot of Italian going on in Monza. It's 90 years of Ferrari they'll be celebrating too at Monza. They've got some
boy.
couple
Wow.
of events planned and a huge weekend for Ferrari. If your entire season didn't go well, but if you can lock out the front row in your home
Oh,
race,
yeah, that's all I care about.
that's all they want. That's all they really need actually going into this weekend. So, yeah, we'll see what they can do. Kimi Räikkönen in 2018 set the fastest ever F1 lap with an average speed of 263.5 kilometers an hour. And remembering back to last year was quite amazing.
That's not what this says.
What does it say?
It says lap record by Rubens Barrichello in 2004.
Right, but this was qualifying.
Oh,
Yeah,
qualifying
yeah.
lap. Okay.
So it's the fastest
Okay.
lap in F1, I guess, by
okay.
average speed.
Right.
And yeah, like you guys mentioned, it's a track that suits Ferrari because it's all about power. 80% is at full throttle, which is ridiculous.
Wow.
And so you really need a low drag, pretty much almost no downforce setup. Obviously, you need a little downforce in the second sector, but it's a very low downforce, low drag circuit because you want as fast as possible as you can straight line speed, which Ferrari has coming into this race.
They do.
I mean, Charles Leclerc has.
Well, it seems like Vettel has it too, but when he gets in the corners, that's a little dodgy.
Yeah, no, Ferrari do have the significant pace advantage, and I mean, you always see the Force India / Racing Point do well at this track as well. So there's someone to keep an eye out for as a potential.
Whoa, what?
What?
I just read an article that said Roman Grosjean disqualified from Italian Grand Prix.
Oh, that's from last year.
Okay.
I
I was
had
like,
the same thing happen
what?
to me while I was looking. I was looking up the track, and they put like old news. I was like, we haven't.
the
What? What did he do?
Poor Roma, he's just getting crapped on, even though he's not doing anything. Poor guy.
But yeah, like you were saying, there's when you look at the track layout, it's honestly all just flat for the most
Yeah.
part. Sector 1, you got the massively long straight where Ericsson had his huge crash last year, just talking about Ericsson earlier. And then Sector 2, obviously, you've got that straight with the second DRS zone. And then Sector 3 with the Parabolica. It's not flat. Obviously, they do have to brake going into the Parabolica. But with the new generation of cars, more downforce, they're able to get on the power much, much earlier than they used to. And then it's a straight shoot all the way down to Turn 1. And one of the things about Monza, too, is that the curbs in Monza are pretty tough. They're pretty high, and they're really tough on the cars. So turn 1 and 2, you got to get those combinations right. You know, the Escare chicane going to turn 8, 9 as well. And the exit is really important going down the final straight into the Parabolica as well. So you need a car that's set up well to absorb the curbs. It's not something that's going to upset the balance too much. And yeah, then the next thing really is straight line speed, which I think that for Ferrari, this is a better track for them even more than Spa, because 80% of it is full throttle, and it's not like in Spa where you have Sector 2 where it has a lot more twisty bits,
Right.
you know, more of a need for downforce. Here you don't really need that much other than Sector 2 here, looking at the two Lesmos. Those are really the only two corners where you need a little bit more downforce, where Ferrari could potentially struggle. Other than that, it's just straight full on the power.
Yeah, it is. It's a track that, of course, they'll be looking to get a 1-2 at. They were looking at that in Belgium. Didn't get it, unfortunately, for Ferrari. Good for Mercedes. But unless Mercedes come out with a fantastic setup, they'll have all their low drag rear wings and everything on to try and keep up. It's whether or not Ferrari can come out with the reliability and the performance to last all weekend.
Yeah. So Pirelli have brought the C2, C3, and the C4 tires. And Pirelli also say that the soft tires this year, so that would be the C4, they're a little bit softer than last year's. So that's going to be
What does
interesting.
that mean, though? Like, what does
More
that
grip.
mean? No, I know that I know what it I know what it means.
Thought you wanted the literal
I know what it
definition.
means, but just like the explanation would be better from Pirelli, being like, "This is why it's." Anyways,
The
You're
surface
saying
of the
why
tire,
are they putting it for the Italian Grand Prix? Like, why is
No,
it
but, like,
softer?
no, just like the explanation of it, like, oh, it's just a bit softer than what we had last year. But like, okay, so why did you come up with that? And like, why is it implemented for this race? What did you find from last race that now you have the tire softer? And I was just like, we're just gonna put the tires.
So
a
you
little
want
softer.
we want to go
the,
faster.
You want the math explanation
want-
of explain your thoughts.
I want oh my god,
Explanatory.
explanations on explanations. from Pirelli.
Explainification.
We're almost there.
Should I
Tyler.
read out the tire selections for
Yeah,
each
so
team
it's
now?
C2, C3, C4 today. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes. C4 is softer, but Tyler wants to know why. Mario Isola from Pirelli, help this guy out.
Send me a direct email.
He wants a PDF breakdown
That
in
would be
Italian
pretty
and
cool.
English of why.
Every corner and why it was chosen.
He wants rear and front PSI levels. Do you
I
know they
do.
give those out too, right?
They do give those out.
Yeah.
You're right.
And they give out the EOS camber limit, whatever that is.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
Explain that to me as well in your email.
Give me an index at the very end to explain all the bigger words.
Bring me to Italy. Bring me to Pirelli, and I'll do a tire tour.
I think that's the only way we could figure out this equation.
It's
if
true.
we were brought to Italy
Actu-
to look at this.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'd go back.
Anyways, who made the stupid decisions this week?
Well, I guess
On
that's
tire
up
choice.
to the people out there. I mean, Hamilton and Leclerc are on the same strategy, so they got 2 sets of the white C2s, 3 sets of the yellow C3s.
Why are you bringing 2 sets of the medium tires? There's a bunch of drivers doing it too. I'm already annoyed.
Yeah, there's a couple. The drivers who aren't doing it, Bottas and Vettel, only with the 1 set.
They're
of
gonna win the race.
Hard. They're going to win the race. Which means that they have 1 less set of the qualifying tire, the red, so only 8 sets of that. Max Verstappen only brought 1 set of the C2s.
C2s.
See, this
That
was
works, though.
easier when it was just super soft and ultra soft.
It was as little as we would think it would be easier. It is easier.
Because you have to try and explain it. Like, for maybe people that haven't been watching F1 that much, it's the white C2.
Yeah,
The white hard C2.
and they're like, "What is that battleship? Like C2? No."
It's just more complicated. No driver on the grid has opted for more than 2 sets of the white hard C2 tire. And
Does anyone have 11 red, like soft, super soft?
No, the
Oh,
most
thank
is
God.
10.
They're lucky. I would have shit on them. So
Those
hard.
drivers, Perez, Stroll, have 10,
What?
and also Max Verstappen.
What? Oh, Max makes sense. They're taking engine penalties.
Yeah, so if he wants to cut through the grid. So those are the tire allocations for this weekend. And maybe we'll do a quick weather update if anybody.
I was just checking
You're
the Weather
doing it?
Network.
Perfect. So this is it's a bit north of Milan is the circuit. Actually, I wrote down what the locals call. So the locals, this track at Monza is known to the locals as La Pista Magica.
A little piece of
Weird
magic.
Piece of magic.
Sure. I was going to say magic racetrack, but I don't think that's what it translates to.
Stupid ads.
So yeah, it should be an interesting weekend because I mean, on paper you'd say it's Ferrari, right? But
Is it ever going to be an interesting weekend, Chris?
Oh, is it raining?
Is it ever going to be?
Oh,
interesting?
man.
If I'm looking at this right, which is Monza. I presume I'm looking.
I think there's only one Monza out there.
I hope so.
It's not raining for the one I'm looking at.
Anyways, it's not. Anyways, I have it as 35 to 45 millimeters of rain on Sunday, and 100% chance of rain, and it's supposed to rain on Friday too.
Where-
I like this weather.
See,
for
I
you.
don't,
it
I
might-
don't have that.
And it might
That's all
rain
right.
on
I trust
Saturday.
it.
Hold on, I'll
Mine
actually.
says partly sunny and pleasant.
This is like Racing Points forecast or
Yeah,
something.
what is it going to be? I'm gonna double check. Continue on. Do some more investigation.
Well, I mean, it has rained in the last couple of years. We obviously remember 2017. Lance Stroll qualified. Actually qualified a bit farther back, was bumped up to the front row of the grid. Last year it rained a little bit in the practice sessions. So Monza has seen some rain in the last couple of years, but I mean, my God, if that's true on Sunday,
Are you sure you're not looking at tomorrow?
Yes, I'm sure.
Because for tomorrow it says it's 27 degrees and a thunderstorm. And then Friday it says cloudy. And then
I have Monza. I'll look up Milan too, and I'll have both of them just to make sure.
yeah, because they're fairly close. But at any rate, we'll have to wait till the weekend to see what exactly the weather is. I mean, it changes all the time. It's kind of like in Belgium, right? The weather can change on a dime. So
it's raining even more in Milan.
okay, so
guess we'll see.
So
Yeah.
I think we're having some rain.
well,
I'll
if we
check
have
the other website as well.
if the Monza wet race is as any good as the Germany one, we're in for a cracker here in Italy. It should be a good one.
I don't know if
Ooh, I don't know if it'd be good either. There's a lot of straights on this one. Might be a Mercedes 1-2 finish if it is raining.
Stop
in
with
that
that
case.
nonsense. Well, they always seem to do really well in Italy. Like
Yeah.
they spoil the Ferrari party almost every year. So Ferrari need a damn good result here.
Okay, I know this is really confusing because now I'm on AccuWeather and that says partly
That's
partly sunny. and pleasant.
AccuWeather is the one I was looking at.
That's 3%. Other networks is 100% of chance of rain. So
Okay.
you know what? I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Forget it then. Forget the weather.
We have no idea.
Well, minus weather aside, what are our predictions? What do we think is going to happen?
What are we doing? Are we predicting the podium and then are we doing that now?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. P3, I have Lewis Hamilton. I think he can.
It's his lowest finish this season, other than Germany,
He's been on the podium every race,
except for
yeah,
Germany.
Probably.
except for Germany. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I have him P3 because it's Lewis Hamilton, but not in the top two. P2, I have Charles Leclerc, and of course that means that my boy, he's gonna get his first win of the season.
It's
It's
Lando
gonna
Norris.
be Lando Norris. Yes, you're right. Lando Norris will win at Monza.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay.
It's going to be a ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-pow. Sebastian Vettel, P1, Sebastian,
Okay,
P1.
Just going to correct you. It would be his second win of the season.
Yes, you're right. It would be a second win of the season. Canada.
We still stick by it.
Don't
We
want to
will
hear it. Don't want to hear any more in the
No,
comments.
He did win in Canada. Yeah, I think he gets it done. I think he comes back, and it was Charles' turn to win last race. I think it's Seb's turn to win in Italy.
I have the exact same podium as you do.
Wow,
Same.
so exciting.
This is the first
Wow,
time.
unanimous?
Well,
Yes,
this is a unanimous
This is
decision.
exactly what I had.
This
for
is
my,
history, folks.
We're going to look great on our recap when it's not even close.
Yeah. Max Verstappen wins the Italian Grand Prix. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that this track being 80% at full throttle, even though Ferrari's race pace isn't great, Leclerc was still able to win in Spa. And
Can
I
I-
think
Can I just
we
put
have
out?
to pick our dark horses too, by the way.
Yeah, we will. If there's a rain, if it's a rain race, can I put out predictions for that?
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, because mine's totally different.
P1 Lando Norris,
Okay.
I
P2?
disagree.
P2 Alex Albon, P3 Sergio Perez. There's my rain affected top three.
Well, wouldn't that
I
be
feel
something?
like you're still kidding.
Yeah, it was me too.
No, that's my rain affected top three. There's gonna be a big crash in turn one.
Okay. My rate affected Monza is Max Verstappen first, Lewis Hamilton second. Then I'm going to go with Daniel Kvyat third.
Wow.
Oh, again.
I won't even pick a rain affected top 3. We'll do them for every single weather scenario.
Yeah.
We'll do a cloudy forecast top 3.
Cold.
Yeah,
Ferrari's
cold.
out of here.
Oh yeah,
done.
no,
Done.
actually, well,
all of them are out of here.
they were pretty good in cold in Barcelona in winter testing. but-
Winter testing, but not in the actual race season.
But yeah, I think that this is a must-win for Vettel. If there's ever
Absolutely.
a must-win race for any driver, this is it for Sebastian Vettel. He needs to get this win to remind everybody who he is. 11 years on from his first win in F1 with Toro Rosso, and excuse me, his first win at home at his home race at Ferrari's home race, would be very special for Vettel. I think that's one of the things that's on his career bucket list to sort of check that off and say that I did that. So having 2 Ferraris on the podium would be massive for the Scuderia this weekend. So we'll see. Weather's going to play a big factor.
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. The Mercedes, though, they're handy everywhere this season, and they're really good at Italy. They're good at upsetting Ferrari at home, so don't count Mercedes out just yet. Red Bull Honda will struggle because of that Honda engine just isn't up to power so much. We don't know whether Max will be taking some extra penalties, whether they want to put that new power unit in just yet. So we'll see how that plays out. Personally, for me, my dark horse or who I'm looking out for this weekend is going to be Racing Point again. And I think Lance
Fair
Stroll in
choice.
particular. I think Lance Stroll is in for a top 7 finish in this race in either conditions. I think if it rains, he'll finish even higher. And I just think that Racing Point are starting to find their groove. They're still bringing upgrades to this car. They're not shutting down 2019 just yet. So they're still bringing upgrade packages to this car, and I think that Racing Point will have another good weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Racing Point as well, but I'll change it up because that's no fun. I'm gonna go another double points finish for the Papaya Orange in McLaren and Lando Norris. Hopefully, they have their engine troubles settled out from Belgium, and they can come back and have a strong finish in Italy, as they deserve to have in Belgium, but unfortunately didn't get due to a couple of problems. And gotta hope because I don't know, Lando and Carlos. They're just my favorite duo right now.
My dark horse is probably going to be Toro Rosso, more specifically Pierre Gasly.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the most smart of all of us.
I think the demotions actually helped him out. I think it's helped him put his mind around racing this year and the whole thing with Antoine. I think it's going to be a good race for him at Toro Rosso.
Cool.
enough.
I like that pick. Yeah, should be good. So do we got anything else from the Italian Grand Prix?
Let us know your weather predictions down in the comments below.
Or just what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, let us know your race predictions down in the comments below. Who do you think will be the podium finishers and your dark horse for the race? We're always interested to see what pans out. And if we do read your comments and you post your comment after the race, we figure that out. It's not that hard to figure out.
It is timestamped, I think, right?
It is timestamped.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that about does it for us. A quick note, we didn't mention this off the top, but it is still our old set, even though we were celebrating last week that this will be the final one with...
I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
current-
you know, like how upgrades get held back at the research and development center because they just don't fit on the car
Yeah,
properly. That's
this is
exactly
what
what
happened
has
In
here.
happened
terms,
here.
our problem is the table that we bought, we didn't get screws for it.
We got screwed.
We got screwed
Literally.
with no screws.
So yeah, we got to work that situation out. We got to find the right screws. The problem is it's wood, so it's already been screwed in. So we got to find it's a whole situation.
So next episode is just 3 of us going to be holding the table like
yeah,
this.
originally we were just
talking.
gonna put the legs on, but then we thought about it and putting the mics on with with our
Like, it's gonna
laptop, a
fall.
mixer. It's gonna fall.
And so is Seb.
Yeah.
And
So
we can't have Seb hurt.
he's already head heavy, so can't make it any worse for
Yes.
him.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get that all sorted out, but, I mean, that's just another thing you got to deal with.
That's what happens in the research development area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Can't always guarantee those upgrades, right?
Have we mentioned 1,100 subscribers?
No, we haven't.
1,100 subscribers. Thank you
Oh,
guys
I didn't even realize.
very
I
much.
saw
yes.
it. It didn't even click to me.
1,100. So, thank you guys very much again for your support. Another 100 after our summer break, and we hope to just keep this train rolling for the rest of the season.
And we're gonna have a lot of content this month.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a fun month.
Very busy. And we already have a lot of content with this quick turnaround week. If you haven't checked out our power rankings post-Belgian Grand Prix, you can do so down below. It's in our playlist and also attached on this video, so check that one out. And if you haven't seen our recap of the Belgian Grand Prix, that is also now available on YouTube and wherever else you listen to your podcast. So, yeah, I think that'll about do it for us for tonight.
I think so.
All right, thanks again for joining us, and we'll be back next week recapping the Italian Grand Prix and then also our power rankings post Monza. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks.
Ciao, bella.
Oh, damn, that's what I forgot.
That's getting cut in. Put that in.
I didn't stop recording, so you're okay. Perfect.